Good morning. It's morning for me. It's Cato the Greato. Thank you for joining me today. I am working on a speed build, just like everybody else, for apartments or rentals or townhouses or dormitories or whatever, because everybody is just so excited about The Sims 4 for rent. And I am too. So it's funny how you want to go ahead and start building for the pack, even though you don't have any of the pack build and buy items. But you know, I guess we just can't help ourselves. We've been imagining building apartments and rentals for a very long time. So, and I say rentals, we've had rentals, but multifamily, I guess, is what I'm talking about. We've been imagining building those for a very long time. So I am actually I was actually already trying to rebuild Magnolia Promenade, which is the world that came with Get to Work. And it has only 4 lots, and it's just one of the it's one of the least used worlds, I would say, from The Sims. Even if you have the Get to Work pack for the gameplay and maybe for the build and buy items, you really probably don't use this world much because it's just not very good. I never take my Sims to a retail store. That gameplay is not interesting to me. My Sims will own a retail store and run it, but they never visit a retail store. And I think all of the lots in Magnolia Promenade by default are retail. There's like 3 retail and then the 1 empty one for you to build your own. So I have decided to make it over. It's going to be a 4-part series because there's 4 lots. And this was not going to be the first, but it is now because I've built apartments for rent, and I'm really excited about the pack, and as is everybody else. So this ended up being the first video to get posted. You'll see my other buildings are in the background when I zoom in and out of the world. But I actually have kind of an industrial vibe building across the street from this, but it was right after the Home Chef Hustle pack came out. And I built like a restaurant at the bottom for a guy to work out of, and then he's got this really swanky industrial apartment above it. But it's just him. This was before we found out about for rent. So there's that one. And then I actually started to build something that kind of resembled apartments in the other lot, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just make this like a swimming pool lot, or you know, it's one of those where you kind of shove a lot of things into one lot, even though you can only choose one lot type, but it's got functionality for many. But on the building that I'm actually currently on, I wanted to do this. This reminds me of this really cool industrial loft that I used to live in before I had children, and it was not even a 1 bedroom. I want to say it was more of a studio because there were no doors. There were walls separating the beds, but no doors. In this space, I do actually put doors. I make these. I really wanted to imagine these homes for families to move into, so they have actual proper rooms and doors closing off all of the spaces. And that is not the way that the industrial loft that I lived in was like. It was very wide open. We had these extra tall spaces. They did make some of them into 2 levels because they could do that. There was plenty of height in there to do that. But the one that I lived in was just, we had our normal walls separating our rooms went up to about 9 feet, and then there were no ceilings going all the way up to the rafters above, which was really lovely. And then I got pregnant, and that was just not a suitable place to raise a child because there are no doors, and the crying baby would, that sound would carry across the apartment really loudly. And anyways, it ended up working out great. I did not want to leave. It was so beautiful, but it ended up working out great when we left. So in this apartment, I'm thinking about that a lot in this style of apartment. And you can see I kind of modeled one first, what I consider to be one complete unit first, and then I duplicated it across the lot. Excuse me. Wow. Duplicated it across the lot, which cause some errors. You get some overlapping of things like doors or windows and stuff. So I tried to get rid of all of those. If you decide to upload this and those are still there, sorry about that. But yeah, there might be duplications in windows and things. And right now I'm dressing up the outside of it. I also decided to separate each unit. Well, first I should say, when I duplicated them, I actually flipped them 180 degrees in between each other, so everybody's front door alternates. It's not all of the front doors are on one side and not all the backyards are on the other side. It's alternating. So I think that would be kind of nice. I liked the idea, but then when I think about moving into a place, I don't like that idea. I think it would be kind of bad to have your front door next to somebody's backyard, because the backyard it's kind of like your bedroom or your personal bathroom, where you can leave some things out and not feel like you're being judged about it. And so backyards just tend to get messy. Front yards tend to be nice, and you might have your nice front door area next to somebody's messy backyard. So that's not so good. But nonetheless, that's how I built this one. And was really excited about finding out that we could have 6 units. So that's exactly what I did, and they fit perfectly. These are only, I think each unit is 6 tiles wide in this complex, but it worked out perfectly. This is a big enough lot. It's on the roadstead in Magnolia Promenade. It worked out perfectly so that I could fit 6 units side by side. And then I also decided to divide each space with a wall just kind of jutting out in between each unit. This is something that's pretty realistic that architects will do for life safety and fire in a building. So a fire wall actually has to expand beyond the boundary of the building. So the wall has to jut out farther than the exterior wall, and it also has to do that above too. We don't really have the opportunity to do that on the roof in The Sims, because otherwise it would just be like a straight flat wall. So instead, you'll see I did some things with the roof with that. I think the roof turned out really nice. But like I said, it was inspired by real life, just like The Sims is in general. The Sims is inspired by real life, and I feel like we try to build things and we try to relate them to real life, and the truth is it's not real life, and that's okay. So anyways, this is a good design challenge for me, a good design outlet, I should say, because in my regular business, I'm designing for real spaces where people do have to have fire and life safety codes. And the other thing that this place does not have, which I feel like when For Rent comes out, I will need to change. I dressed up the second unit for the landlord or landlady, whatever you want to call them. What are they? I think they're called the owner, property owner, in the trailer that we got for the game. Anyways, I imagine that she lives here with her 4 kids. And so it was a lot of fun to dress this place up for this lady and her 4 kids. Did not include any type of amenity spaces or shared space or even like a common office space, which we'll have to see what the lot type requires with the new pack. But there may be some things that are required, or you can charge more if you have certain amenities. And I don't really have any amenities on this lot. It's just these nice luxury townhouses in this, seemingly old industrial warehouse. So I end up, I may end up like demolishing one of the other apartments and making it her office, or like the place that the public can come and, complain to her about their toilets not working or whatever it is. If that's a requirement, we're really going to have to see how gameplay is. And that's another reason why it's so funny that everybody is jumping at the opportunity to build some apartments when we don't have the pack yet, because nobody really knows what the requirements are at this point. And but we're all just so excited we can't help ourselves. So I'm furnishing her bedroom, and I actually made hers the small bedroom at the bottom. And you'll see by the end, so I built this one with 3 bedrooms and I think 2 bathrooms. So there's a bathroom downstairs and a bathroom upstairs. But that small little bedroom in the front, I thought originally it would be for one of the children or for maybe two of the children to share. As I got to playing, you can imagine these things, as you go in The Sims, and I was thinking maybe she actually sleeps in that room down at the bottom. She takes the small room and she gives her kids the big rooms upstairs. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, there are 2 bathrooms upstairs. So this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. And I think what would be best moving forward is, depending on who moves in there, you can renovate each unit a little bit. Again, I'm going to have to see how gameplay works with the for rent pack. But I'm excited about the opportunity to maybe make each one a little bit different, depending on who moves into it. And it'll be fun to play as a tenant as well as a property owner. I think everybody is immediately taking the stance of like, oh, I'm excited to be a property owner and be a mean landlord or whatever. But I think it's going to be really important to play as a tenant too, so you can kind of see both sides and know what the best choices are to make. So she actually takes the bedroom at the bottom, and I really deck out the big rooms up above for her kids. And I started to just develop this story in my head about this lady who maybe she is obsessed with her family and she just loves her children, and that's her passion in life. And she's just a very vibrant lady who loves her family and works hard at keeping this place nice for her tenants. And I couldn't decide how many kids she was going to have. I was like, 2, no, that's not enough. 3, is that enough? And then I just thought, maybe it'll be really, really fun to play with this lady with 4 kids. And I was like, wait, does she have a partner? Does she have an adult parent partner? I decided no, she is not going to have a partner, mostly because I didn't feel like giving them a story too. And but also, who doesn't just love the triumphant single mother tale? I feel like that's a really popular one to do in storytelling, and Sims is nothing if it's not about storytelling. So I decided she doesn't have a partner. But then I was like, well, what happened to the partner? I need to know this part of the story. And so I actually decided that she has maybe had a couple of serious relationships, but never serious enough to kind of settle down and get married, or not get married, but partner up and live with someone and all those things. It's just, these are children that she's had with different partners. And I really like that idea. I like the idea of her being kind of a fly by the seat of her pants and enjoying every surprise that comes. And every child would, of course, have been a surprise, an unplanned surprise, or maybe a planned surprise. I mean, gosh, in The Sims you can have science babies now, which clearly you have to choose to do. Also, something that I don't know how to do, because after I built this, I went and built the family because I was inspired to build the family and I want to play with them for a little bit. But she's the mother of these 4 children in CAS. But is there a way in CAS to say that this is my child, but they are adopted? Because a science baby and I guess a natural baby, I don't really know the right way to say that. Those would kind of have had the same kind of DNA makeup, but is there a way to, like in the game, say that this is actually an adopted child? I don't know. I didn't know how to do that. If there's a way to do that, let me know. Maybe I should just create 3 children, because right now I've only created her and 1 child. Maybe I should just create 3 children and then have 1 that I adopt in game. Maybe I'll do that. That sounds good. Because I want them to be, I want her to be this very spontaneous, loves life, and is living it to the fullest kind of woman. I picture her just keeping everything. She's got a lot of keepsakes from her kids and from her life. And so this is a cluttered place to live, and yet well kept. I think that places can be cluttered but still clean and well kept. And I really like the idea of this woman that just gives everything of herself to these kids that she adores, and her circumstances are what many would not consider ideal, but she loves them. She loves her circumstances. And that's my dog. I've got 2 dogs and a baby here next to me, so you're probably going to hear them a little bit. As I feel like this story really developed as I furnished these children's bedrooms. So I put 2 kids in each room. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs. Put 2 kids in each room, and I was trying to imagine maybe there is like a she-her teenager and maybe a she-her child. Then I really wanted a he-him teenager, so I might make 2 she-her children. And then I want a he-him toddler. But and honestly, I think that the teenager that I'm thinking of could be a they them also. I just have this idea that they are kind of a gamer, but also athletic. I feel like a lot of times people try to separate those two, like they can't, like they're exclusive of each other, but they're not. My husband, the man that I married, is definitely a geek and an athlete at the same time. So I like the idea of that kind of story for that teenager. And I put some type of or gaming or something machine in each of the children's bedrooms, and then there's kind of a shared office space up here on the loft. But I still try to make it look like the kids have just completely taken over the loft, that this mom really embraces whatever her kids would like, and just kind of not in a, I don't think in like a disciplinary way. Like I don't think that she's just, letting them walk all over her, but she does let them take full reign of the house. She kind of figures, you know what, I'm one and there's 4 of them, and I want them to have their best life growing up, and they can decorate it however they want. So the house is kind of decorated for and by the children, which is kind of neat, but she still has to work out of it. I think we might have to, revisit that whole, maybe one of these other apartments needs to turn into the office space based on how for rent gameplay works. But for now, I've got the loft space. The loft space has a computer for her to work out of. Not done making my family yet. I may have 2 teenagers, 1 child, and 1 toddler, or 1 teenager, 2 children, and 1 toddler, based on the way that it's furnished in here. And then the bathrooms, I tried to make those all nice and cluttery, also looking like kids definitely use these spaces, and that, the hairbrush is out, and there's these cute little sea creature decals, which I think came with bathroom clutter. Bathroom clutter is such a good one. I almost like it more than the everyday clutter kit, because I just love the messy bathroom. It makes me feel better about my own messy bathroom at home. And I also have kids, so I've got a messy kids bathroom, and then my husband and I have a messy bathroom, and then there's a half bathroom that is, honestly, it's much tidier. There's not all the clutter in there, but it's still not usually clean. That sounds gross, but the floor is just never swept, or we might wait a few extra days to actually clean or wipe down the sink and the toilet, because there's just so much to do when you have a family in your home. And so I love that in the gameplay too, that there's this realism, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have put some stains and scratches on the wall, but I didn't. That would be a really good addition to this if you want to download and play with it. And then now I'm going around at the very end, and I am deleting out that 3rd bedroom on the first floor, so that you can make this into a proper living room if you wanted to, instead of squishing it all in the back like I did. But I'm really happy with this, and I hope that you are, and I'm really excited about For Rent.